listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text the show on 8 12 15, should you wish. Follow the show on... What is that? Rattling. Following the show on Twitter... Oh, see, you've thrown me now completely.
Me?
Follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, or email the show via the Absolute Radio website.
The door's broken, Frank.
So it's making that noise?
Yeah, well, I can't help. I'm not responsible for the doors.
No. Okay. That spoiled the whole thing for me. Should we just leave it here?
Yeah, if you like.
Let's just play back-to-back tracks like they do on the radio. That's what people want, isn't it? Apparently not.
Apparently not, no.
Oh, no.
No, because...
We've got news.
Oh, have we ever?
Haven't we, Frank?
We have. We won an award this week, and I don't... I think modesty is something that one should champion. Mm-hmm. But, we did win an award.
I don't.
And I know that. But we won...
champion is a girl I went out with at school.
Is that right?
No.
It isn't true. What a
Just a liar.
Weird lie.
I just thought of this girl.
Just a curious liar.
I think there's an old radio question. How do you know when the links between the songs are getting a bit long and rambling? You win Best Speech Programme. and that's what we did this week, which was a mysterious and surprising event.
We got gold.
We're calling it now the Radio Academy Awards, I believe, which makes it sound a bit like the Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
Frank was so not expecting to win. He said, we haven't won.
No,
he said, I haven't written a speech. You're going to have to make a speech if we go up there. We go up there, couldn't get that microphone off him.
No, well, suddenly I had a few ideas. Something came to me.
Just working some new stuff for the tour while we were up there.
Exactly. No, it was a complete shock. So, thanks to everyone who voted for us.
Should just
Did
explain
anyone
to
vote for us?
No.
To the readers that I didn't go to the...
Why didn't you go?
Well, it's interesting that Frank compares it to the Oscars. I went to do new material in a pub in Didsbury, which I see as being like my version of Woody Allen going to play the clarinet in the bar on the night of the Oscars. But what you never find out is how much he enjoyed that night in the bar playing clarinet. Like, what if he comes back and goes, I should have gone to the Oscars, it was a terrible show.
I bet he did. Not only that, but everyone in that little club where he's playing clarinet thought, what are you doing here, you idiot? Why aren't you at the Oscars? Do you think I'd be here if I could have been at the Oscars? You idiot. I'd say that's the biggest mistake you ever...
What about my Spanx?
You weren't wearing them.
I didn't put them on because I didn't think we were going to win.
No, that's terrible.
And then Frank and I were interviewed by The Guardian, and that's what I said to them. Yeah, I mean, you say that to the Sunday Sport, you don't say that to The Guardian. I said, I forgot my Spanx.
See, the man had to Google Spanx.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
During the interview?
He shouldn't have done it in front of us. And he went, and he did KS for a beginning instead of A.
Oh, dear.
Oh, God. What a faux pas. When I say faux pas, that's also with the lyrics.
I hadn't made the sort of effort, frankly, that I would have had I known we were going to win.
No, I know. Or even had a chance. But anyway, it was very exciting. Turns out the music on the show is little more than punctuation.
Well, we've always said it off air, haven't we?
Well, exactly. And it was a golden night for Absolute as well, wasn't it? But we should. I feel a bit like a company man now.
Mm-hmm.
But Absolute won Best Brand.
Best Brand.
Yeah, because I don't know if you know if they've got over 200 head of cattle.
And then
and the brand on them is like an eye with an arrow going through it. And I've always thought it looks really, particularly if it's fully on the flank. It really gives it a sort of almost a 3D effect.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
What? Just then?
Frank gave feedback on the baking.
Daisy baked banana cake, and Frank just said, Alan?
Am I right in thinking there's a flowery aftertaste to that?
There's a sort of self-raising flowery aftertaste. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, just because he's starting...
No.
What is it? Frank Skinner's Just Desserts?
Yeah, that's my new restaurant. Actually, it's if you know, it's You Sweet.
Oh, that's awful.
No, it's just it was just a bit of a surprise at me. It was almost like the cake started like a cake, and then as I ate it, it broke down into its individual constituents.
Oh, it all went a
bit of
bit.
egg there.
It all went a bit molecular.
I think there isn't enough deconstructive baking. That's what they need on
You've
the
gone a bit
toilet.
Heston Blumenthal. He likes to break it on down.
Yeah.
It also, yeah. I know. I've been in his laboratory.
So have I.
Yeah.
Laboratoire.
Yuck.
Jude Law was in there when I was in the laboratory.
When I was in there, it was Adrian Charles. It's the luck of the draw.
What about at the Sonys? Sorry, Al, just FYI, we
Can
might
you not
start.
call them the
Oh, no,
Sonys?
sorry.
No.
The Radio Academy Awards.
What should we call them? What's for short?
RAA.
The Racks.
Raz.
The
The Raz.
No, Radio Academy. Oh, yeah. Where did I get the C from?
I don't know.
Don't know.
So at the Raz.
No, that was just speaking to my dealer on the phone.
That's an old message. An old message
we
of mine.
can't call them that. We can't call them that.
We
Why?
We can't call them that
Oh,
because
is that bad?
The Raz.
we can't call them that.
Saying it. You
Can
want
you
to
stop?
stop
Please
saying
stop
it?
saying it.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I think it's fine if it's an acronym that you're then saying.
I don't think it is.
Okay. Anyway, the Radio Academy Awards. I'll just say it quickly, like terms and conditions, and then
Okay.
it'll be over quickly.
Yeah, okay.
So the Radio Academy Awards. Up for this was
But
my
the
worst
Ackies,
moment.
we could call them the Ackies.
Well, I don't think we could say
Short
that.
for Academy, and we can say Ackies.
Oh, can we? Okay. Best narrative documentary winner. There's always one like this, and the winner is The Murder of JFK.
Oh.
And everyone went, "Whoa!" Frank said, "He's a human being."
Well, it just sounded wrong to me.
There was a lone Birmingham voice saying he's a human being.
I know.
Yeah.
They do that
Do that
every
every
year. They
year,
announce
yeah.
a death and everybody cheers because they won a news award. No, it's not.
Yeah.
I know.
Although I think I heard that documentary and it was good.
You heard
I
it?
think I heard it. Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
well done.
Oh yeah.
I missed that one.
I'm all
I
over
missed.
the broadcast awards.
I missed the entire everything after we won the award. I missed.
I tell you what,
So I just took selfies of myself with the award.
I read in the papers. I read in the papers that the Kaiser Chiefs performed.
Oh yeah,
Did they?
yeah,
I missed that.
yeah. But we were taking selfies.
But I never left the room.
No, I think you'd got your car by that stage.
No, I hadn't. Had I?
Yeah, you had.
Well, had they? Oh, okay.
Vigorous nodding happening.
Okay, I missed that then. Sorry about that. And also, we should say that Christian O'Connell won Best Brand.
I don't know.
It's because he's sponsored by Wix, the tools people. So it's a really brilliant sponsorship. He's so intrinsically linked now with Wix. There's actually a sign on his door here saying no tools are left in this studio overnight.
What about when we went up for Best Brand? Because Absolute Radio got Best Brand.
Yeah, we all went up for Best Brand.
Yeah.
It was
Well-
a lovely
Wow.
team moment.
You say it was lovely, but
Well, that
Frank
sounds
and
nice.
Christian, being celebrities, Christian said, "Oh, we can stand near the back, Frank." So I decided to join you. Terrible mistake.
Yeah, we
Oh,
were
so
being
now you're
humble.
not-
I was.
You're not in the
They were
pit.
being humble, which of course is not a quality that sits easily with me.
You were being Kate humble.
Next thing you know, you're not in the photo.
Yeah, well,
You enjoying that cake?
It sounds like that terrible language person. What's his
sorry,
name?
I'm just...
I could hear the
What's
sugar.
his name?
I could hear the
Michelle.
sugar. He's breaking it down, even on
Yeah.
air.
All the flour. Now,
It's like being in the laboratory with Adrian Childs all over again.
it was... That's just... If you just tuned in, you think, oh, I wish I'd heard that anecdote. Sounds like a goodie. It was a beautiful night, though, and congratulations to one and all.
Oh, it
I
is
will say
flowery,
that.
isn't it?
It is, yeah. I warned you about it. You don't look at me like I'm telling lies.
Skinner, Dean, and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute
So
Radio.
when I left, just to wind up our self-celebration, when I...
The Radio Academy Awards.
Yes,
What
well,
a difference a year makes. This time a year ago, you were slagging them off left and centre, weren't you?
I don't... Was I? I seem to remember swearing an oath I'd never go to that award ceremony ever again.
I remember dog excrement being mentioned.
Okay, but that's...
Being put
that's
through letterboxes.
I think that was because Daisy had done a banana cake. But I'm joking, Daisy. I love your banana cake. Can I just say that?
I'm not.
I think people should make banana cake, but they should use the peel. They should do a bigger version of the peel to encase it, so it's actually like a banana.
I think it should have to be in a banana shape.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
That's fair enough, isn't it?
Yeah, and a carrot cake the same.
Yeah, exactly the same. Oh, yeah, but you'd get the pointy bit. That'd be awful.
But fruit cake could be confusing. I suppose you just pick any fruit you like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Frank Skinner's Just Desserts coming on a
Yeah, you know what
here.
I'd do? I'd go a bit left field and go tomato.
Tomato cake.
You know, to remind people it's a fruit. That little clever fact.
People do beetroot cake, don't they? Anyway, enough of cakes.
So I left the ceremony. It was raining. I scampered across carrying my award, our award, and I jumped into the back of a car. And the driver said to me, "Oh, it's all happening there." He said, "Was there any celebrities in there?"
Oh my God, that is awful.
I mean, come on.
You're clutching your award in the black tie.
You know, the terrible
You're
thing
Frank
is
Skinner.
I started listing some of the celebrities.
Did you say Tony Blackburn?
And I was really trying to talk it up a bit, you know.
You didn't just keep putting your face in the rear view, like...
Who did you mention? Because there were some. Myling Class was there.
Yes, I mentioned... don't put me on the spot!
Did he not know who you are,
That was
Frank?
a hospital pass, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, clearly he didn't know, but that's fine, you know, it was dark. I was carrying the award and I had a dicky bow, you know, a sort of black evening suit. He could have at least...
And he had a piece of paper with Frank Skinner on in the window of the car, surely.
What if he thought you were exec producer for Best Narrative Documentary?
I had another...
You could be that. You look a bit like that.
I had a driver the other day, this was in broad daylight. The driver said to me, I know you, don't I? I thought, try looking at the actual... My name, I could see my name on the screen in front of him. But anyway, he said, I know you, don't I? You're on the telly. And I said, yeah, I am a bit, yeah. And he said, what's your name? Which is always a terrible...
Oh.
And I
do you say my name is Frank Skinner? I would if I were you.
I usually go, my name is... my name... I actually carry that on my iPhone so I can have the backing thing. No, I don't do that. I just said, it's Frank Skinner. He said, oh, yeah, you do that Room 101. I said, yeah. So we went on for another 3 or 4 minutes. He said, I'll tell you what I used to love. He said, that show you did was brilliant. That one when you wore a peak cap.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, okay. And he said, you know, that workers thing. And then I remembered, many years ago,
you were on the buses.
I worked with this ventriloquist woman who used to do a rude ventriloquist act. I think she'd been a man formerly. Anyway.
What on earth was this?
It's another story. She said to me, you are the reborn Colin Crompton. You are just him. Now, Colin Crompton was a comedian who hosted a thing called the Wheel Tappers and Shunters Club. So when this bloke said, that thing you did with the peak cap, I said, do you mean the Wheel Tappers and Shunters Club? He said, yeah, that. He says, you're brilliant on that. That programme ended in 1977. And honestly, he said, why don't you bring that back? And I said, you know what? We've had meetings about that.
You did not say this.
Yeah, I went into a whole thing with this guy of saying, you know, it was really fun to do. and all that, and I just became... I think it's David Baddiel used to say, if I put a peak cap on, I became the quintessence of working class. There's just something about me.
Do you know what? I don't think you need the peak cap.
Well, nowadays it wouldn't, because it's not the badge anymore, is it, the peak cap? Nowadays it's the reused Sports Direct bag.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I've had quite a few tweets in over the last 24 hours, Frank.
Oh, yeah. Lucky, yeah.
It's okay. They're all along the same theme. Wonder what the topic of tomorrow's show will be. Oh, wow, dreams do come true. I'm very happy for him. Shut up. Tell him it's about time, but I guess he knows that already.
Oh, that's a good one.
Do you know...
It's about time, do you say?
Yeah.
That is good, yeah.
Well, do you know what we're talking about, Alan Cochrane?
Yes.
Do you? Okay, let's move on.
Is it about...
Frank, come on, you've gotten some news.
Recently announced foray into the world of acting.
Into the World Cup?
Into the
to the World Cup.
Frank's going to be in Doctor Who.
Yeah, there we go. You say
I can't keep it in.
It's
That's
exciting, isn't it?
It is. It is. I would say exciting is a fair description of that. It
Do
was.
you know what I like? Frank's gone a bit coy. You know, like when Kate Middleton, when they announced the engagement, she did the interview. Yes, we're very happy about the news.
Yes.
You're a bit coy, aren't you?
It is a bit like. I'll have to go on a multi-diet thing as well.
Why?
No, it was sort of be like Kate
great.
Middleton. Don't we all want to be like Kate Middleton?
Thinking,
Yeah.
what role have you got in Doctor Who? You've got to
What
do
role
some
have you
slimming,
got in
like-
Doctor Who?
Well, I can't
it's
say
gonna be
much,
top
but I have to
secret,
wear.
innit?
I have to wear a. You won't believe me if I tell you. I have to wear a cheetah. I have to dress as a cheetah, and there's some horse riding.
Don't lie.
I'm not
This
lying.
is such
A
fibbing.
cheetah.
I'm
This
not.
is like when he told us that he was hosting Absolute 20s.
No, well, part a cheetah,
Part cheetah?
humanoid cheetah.
Oh,
Anyway.
I'm just worried they're going to put you in an alien mask or
No,
something.
I don't
and
mean
wait
cheetah.
to see you.
Not cheetah the chimpanzee.
Oh, what do you mean then?
Well,
Like a cheetah.
A cheetah, yeah, not cheetah. It's very confusing, cheetah the chimpanzee. Why do that? What's Tarzan thinking about? I'll just name it after another animal.
Yeah.
Well, why name it at all, Tarzan?
Frank, it's so exciting.
Yeah.
Chimpanzees look at human beings and, like Russell Crowe and think, what are you doing that for? It isn't, I mean, I can't tell. I feel like a competition winner.
Well, you kind of are, if we're honest.
Yes, I am,
Because you
really.
have begged for this role.
I've completely begged. I'm not ashamed of that.
No.
But I have to be careful when I'm there that I actually remember that I'm in it and don't just watch it.
Yeah.
You know, because what they don't want
Yeah.
is, you know, someone, I'm there going, oh, it's brilliant. You can just hear that as they're doing the lines. God, this is God, what bit that is.
Just an alien in the background asking for autographs.
Yeah. I have to be careful, you know, that I'm not just seeing it as having a really good view.
Picking bits of the set. Can I keep this? Is there a rule about mementos?
Oh,
Oh, it's
dear.
good. They're going to have to keep reshooting it as well.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well,
he's gonna-
I haven't been able to. Sorry.
Don't overact, Frank. I've
that
just
my
got to
notes?
say this
It's a
to
bit
you
early, isn't it?
at the start because I know how excited. I think you're a very good
Can
little
you
actor.
overact as a cheetah on a horse?
It turns out, in your case, yes.
Okay.
And what
I
I'm
thought the cheetah on the horse was a bit big, wasn't it, for that scene?
I'm just worried. I think you're a lovely little actor, but I'm just worried that because this is, you know, I don't. What's that thing Alan says about playing the game, not the occasion?
Yeah.
I don't want
It's
you
not
to
just
get
me.
so overawed by the
Okay,
experience.
Okay. I'll think. Okay.
Don't be
Okay.
like an extra in EastEnders when they overhandle the fabric on the market stall.
No, I know, that's always awful, isn't it? Oh, you can see it taking the top layer of skin off their fingertips. And when people gesticulate a lot when they're playing darts in the Rovers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll you know, it's difficult because I'll be like so silly excited.
I know.
I'll tell you what, because I haven't been
So
able to say
exciting.
anyone, I'm going to be in Doctor Who. Because I've had to keep it quiet for 4 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Weeks.
So I have been saying I'm going to be in Doctor Who, but I've been saying it when I've been in a room on my own, and
Yeah.
whilst doing a tiny little dance on the spot. The funny thing is, I've been because I suppose I think about it about every 3 minutes. But I've
Good for
thought,
commercial radio, then.
yeah. But to be honest, I thought about being in Doctor Who about every 4.5 minutes, like years before this happened. So yes, it's man.
2 people on this show now in sci-fi dramas.
Oh, of course you were in
Yeah,
Day of the Triffids.
So I'll get
Wow.
working on it.
I'll take my phone off airplane just in case the call comes in now. Shall I?
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
if they
they-
do castings on Saturday
A
mornings.
call
but
from Quatermass.
I'm available.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
So more Doctor Who. Well, we've had some texts.
Okay.
Someone's texted us in, actually it's a tweet to me. Buzz can now say my daddy was in Doctor Who, says Lee.
Yes, well, it's that's an interesting point because I'm afraid I've gone deep into bad dad territory.
All right.
What do you
Because
mean?
in order to be in Doctor Who,
Yeah.
one of the filming days is Buzzy's birthday.
Uh-huh.
So I'm having to miss. Yes, I know. I'm having to miss his birthday. So I figure that it will be you know, that I'd rather have... If my dad had said to me, you know, I was at your second birthday, I'd have said, oh, brilliant. Mind you, I had to miss the chance to be in Doctor Who. I'd have just smashed him in the face. So I'm hoping it'll be okay. And
I think that'll be fine.
The plan is to just make another birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't know at that age.
Yeah, just pick any date we like.
Yeah.
I think
I'll
it's
just pick a
fine.
night, the day, you know, nice weather day.
Yeah, do that.
We've had
I feel
another...
a bit
That'll
bad
work.
because I missed his first steps because I was at a screening of Remembrance of the Daleks.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. So there's a bit of a theme.
I feel so sad for you didn't have my childhood.
Yeah. Why?
Because that's all I had was old actors in Doctor Who. Not that you're an old actor, but you know what I mean.
Well, I am.
No. Frank, we've had another tweet in. Richard says, amazing, but won't the viewers be confused with Frank and doppelganger Peter Capaldi in the same show? What do you think about that?
Well, I think the cheetah outfit will help. Did I say that the horse I'm riding is played by Linda Robson?
No?
Yeah. The whole thing is just stunt casting. That's
Yeah,
what
it
it
does
is.
feel a bit like that.
Yeah, they've gone to town on this one.
You know, you are a sort of a model success story by getting this, because when the Doctor Who role itself, the now Peter Capaldi role, was available, my mum phoned me up and said, I think you should apply for that. apply for that. Apply. Like, how? Do you not think they're considering people already? But you genuinely did apply.
I did sort of
quite
apply.
publicly for any role.
To be fair, though, wasn't it a read?
love apply.
I think it was one of our readers texted in, didn't they, and said, "What's your ambitions?"
Oh, is
Yeah.
that what happened?
And we all did our ambitions, and I said,
was mine?
Mine must have been Doc. I don't know. I remember you really, when I said mine, you went, "Oh my god!" But yes, when
I think mine was to be intimate with Tom Jones.
It's not unusual.
well, you know, when I said to you
I
that
don't want to achieve that, by the way, any
What?
longer.
well, mine used to be intimate with Honor Blackman, actually.
Really?
Yeah, and I wrote to Jim will fix it,
Uh-huh.
and never got a reply. So,
Anyway,
well, I haven't given up hope. I still look under the mat
Just-
by the
just
door,
talk
case,
about
case
something
the
else.
in case the letter's got.
you've mentioned it now. Let's
Yes.
talk about something else.
Okay, oh, you know when I said to you I went to Nando's for the first time
Nando's.
the other week? Yeah, well,
You started saying it right now because he wants the black card.
Yeah, it was. I was
Yeah.
in Nando's when I got the phone call to say that I'd got the part.
You weren't.
Yeah, when I actually got the phone call to say that they wanted me to read for the part, I was watching an episode of Doctor Who and I had to freeze it to
Wow.
take the phone call. But
Well, in Nando's.
so I was in my first ever trip to Nando's and I
Yeah.
got this call and my manager said, you know, look, to me it's like the most exciting
Yes.
professional news of my life.
How does he say it?
Do you remember when we got to number one with Three Lions? I got into my I got into my hotel room in San Francisco. I was on holiday.
Oh,
there was
did you
flowers.
spend the night in Frisco?
There was flowers from my manager and a card saying straight in at number one, 56,000 units sold. Completely reduced to manager talk. So he phones me. This is like like I say, could you imagine how excited?
Yeah.
He phones up and says they made an offer. That was the opening line.
Oh, they've made
Yeah.
an offer.
It's going to be quite hard to haggle when he's begged for the job for 2 years.
But I went outside.
He's
I went
applied.
outside, and there was loads of people around. It was like a sunny day. I was at Cardiff Bay, Nando's. I went outside.
Aw,
and
never mind.
I was on the phone. He was telling me this, and I did a volley. You know when you volley a football? I did that like a mimed one.
Wow.
A
Oh,
really
no, it
big
was like
one.
chemistry teacher at the disco trying
know.
to dance.
People were really looking at me like I was and I couldn't eat my Nando's, so the whole thing ruined that.
Oh, I'd have had that.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
And we've had an enjoyable text in. Morning, Frank, Emily. Well, I think. Morning, Frank, Emily, and Alan. Congratulations on winning your RAA. I'm just baking a banana loaf now that I've heard you mention it this morning. I'm easily influenced from what I hear, and after listening for 10 minutes, it was either that or take up the clarinet. Look forward to baking my banana bread later, that's all.
But why not do the... My dad, when he was in the garden, used to whistle Stranger on the Shore by Acker Bilk all the time. That was
Oh,
all,
yeah.
So you'd hear him... I used to... what I started doing, the influence of him, is I started doing the same tune, but it was played on clarinet, and I started to do it as a clarinet.
Oh.
So I'd be walking around going... Ha, 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 ha. That's a little story from my childhood there.
I love that story.
Yeah, I love that
Why don't you
story.
tell that to your castmates when you're doing Doctor Who? I'm just thinking, it's always good to have a story in your pocket
Yeah.
for the first day of shooting.
Well, okay. You think I should bring that one out?
Capaldi would like it, I reckon.
Oh, okay. PCAP.
Yeah. Oh, Frank, what about this? Coventry Telegraph headline. Former Warwick University students' dreams come true. That is how they describe
I told
Frank's
her not
appearance.
to tell anyone about that.
Don't you love that's out of the regional news?
I love the fact you're always tied to the area. Although I had glorious days at Warwick University, so I'm very happy to be seen.
Yes, and they've mentioned because you're there tomorrow. That's why you're in it.
Oh, it all makes sense, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Oh, yeah.
Makes sense in the end, don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, life. Oh, life. Oh, life.
Yeah.
Did you see? We were talking about the lyric in my tour boss yesterday. We were talking about the verses to "Life, Ooh Life, Ooh Life."
Who was it? Desiree or someone?
Desiree. One of them is I don't. It's on about when I'm in a park at night.
That sounds a bit
Get a
dodgy.
He says something like, "I don't want to see a ghost. I'd rather have a piece of toast." I mean, come on, try a bit harder.
You're listening to the Frank Skinner podcast from Absolute Radio. Want your Frank fix a little sooner? Listen live every Saturday from 8 a.m. on Absolute Radio. Across the UK on digital radio, mobile apps, and in London and the South East on 105.8 FM.
Absolute
Frank
Radio.
Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. Text the show on 81215. We'd love to hear from you. Follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, or email it directly through the Absolute Radio website.
Frank, I'll tell you what we need to talk about. What about Solange?
Solange? I couldn't eat anything else.
Frank Skinner's just dessert.
Solange? No. Is that how you
Knowles.
say her name?
Yeah, Solange.
I see. I was thinking. I wondered if it was Solange, like to be like Solange.
Please,
Beyonce.
I hope you never meet her. Well, I kind of do hope you never meet her.
Can you explain who
Solange.
she is? Who is
She's
she?
Beyonce's sister.
Okay.
Do you
Yeah.
think that
Well, not
when
that
he
much, do you?
There was an incident in a lift, we should say.
Yes,
So
when-
everyone must know about it.
she kicked him quite
Jay-Z.
a lot. She kicked Jay-Z. Yeah. So Jay-Z's married to Beyonce. Beyonce's sister Solange.
I like that you're talking about them like they're your relatives.
Yes. So they had an argument. She was kicking him like in the chest. She was really.
There was
like
one-
karate kicking.
When he grabbed the foot, I thought that was well held.
That was good. I thought that was well. I think he's a pretty sort of glass half full guy.
Yeah.
He always seems very sort of. And I think he
Bouncy.
thought, okay, I'm being kicked in the chest, but I do every time you do it, I can see your pants. And I thought he was a guy who, you know
Not
what I mean?
everyone is like you, Frank.
Always.
He was a
look
guy,
on.
and I think when he grabbed the leg, I think then he was just he was overindulging that moment.
Beyonce, she was cool as a cucumber.
She's honestly called Solange.
Yeah,
I love
Solange.
it. When he left the lift, do you think he went Solange, farewell, adieu, adieu, adieu?
I hope everyone says that to her when they leave. Her.
I
That
hope
would be
they
a
do as
lovely
well.
world. Don't think they do
She'd be
that.
furious. Would you dare say it? But I mean, what a
She
thing.
seems like she'd be quite a... Like, I don't think she'd take well to cancelled arrangements. One
No.
of those friends, maybe.
Yeah.
You think she might be a bit high maintenance?
Maybe.
Okay.
What about Beyonce? Cool as a cucumber. Claw-length Givenchy. All she did was move her train an inch. Throughout that fracas,
She moved her train an inch.
I'd have been saying, leave him, he's not worth it!
She had a
Yeah,
train.
yeah.
She had a
Wouldn't
train
I?
on a string. It's a weird,
Wow.
infantile thing she does.
I'll be honest, this whole story, the only thing I really understand is lift. That's the, that's the bit that identifies with my life. I mean, I sort of understand that they're kicking off and they're having a little fight, but
They're kicking off, all
I
right.
don't know. I don't know who they are.
But
though.
also, crucially, what happened is Beyonce's bouncer, they're always called Biscuit, aren't they? Is it Biscuit? Something like that.
They're always called biscuit.
Yeah, I met two bouncers called Biscuit. One
You-
worked for New
what?
Kids on the Block. And
You sure it wasn't the same bouncer in a different job? All bouncers are called biscuit.
Yeah,
They're
and why are you
Text
hobnobbing
him.
with so many?
hobnobbing.
Thank you.
Hey,
I really thought that was gonna
rascal.
go astray
No, I
there.
would not. You know, I wouldn't let that pass. Two bouncers called. I'll tell you what. My advice to you is, Emily's never do observational comedy.
Oh, thank you very much.
You know.
What
how-
about my show, Oh No You Don't?
No, but when you call mistake, you know how bouncers are always called biscuit.
Well, they are. Anyway, this one is called Julius, apparently. He's not called Biscuit.
Okay.
But he did that thing in the lift where he tried to stop the doors opening. He was pressing it repeatedly because I think he was worried that people were going to see what was going on.
Of course. You forgot about the
That was
camera.
even more embarrassing, though.
Well, I thought the height of embarrassment in a lift is when you get out at the wrong floor, you realise it's the wrong floor, you have to get back in again. Everyone looks at you like, oh, that idiot got out the wrong floor.
Yeah.
But, being kicked in the chest by your girlfriend and sister. Is it girlfriend or wife?
Wife. Daisy knows about Beyonce.
If only it was fiancé.
Do you remember we did
Then you could say my fiancé Beyonce.
did Beyonce.
It's rappers, they speak in rhyme all the time, I've been told.
True. You remember we did a thing on this show about weird little things that we think we're good at? I think you were good at feeding the ducks bread.
Oh, yeah. Targeting them. I get one right in front of them.
I stay in a lot of hotels, and so I genuinely am good at seeing the numbers of where the rooms are. So I can walk through the corridor, boom, I'm at the room, I know where I'm going. So I never do that thing that you just mentioned of getting off at the wrong floor and going back in the lift. But when people do, I often think, tourist.
Yeah, but what it's based on is when...
Of course they are. They're in a hotel, aren't they?
It's when you're it's when you're heading to the ground floor and someone gets in at, the second floor. Of course, I think we're at the ground floor.
Oh, yeah.
Of course you do, because you've got no sense of direction.
Well, I'm so excited about getting out the lift.
A woman told me I wasn't allowed in one the other week.
But that's because she's got a restraining order against you.
There was 4 people in a lift. There was easily room if they'd just walked into it properly. And she turned round, and just as the doors were shutting, she went, "There isn't room for you." And the doors went like that.
Was she UKIP?
It was very specifically me. It wasn't like there isn't room for anyone else. She gave me a death stare. Terrifying.
That is terrifying. So does that mean that he's got 100 problems now? Oh, Jay-Z. Jay-Z, of course, we should call him. But we don't.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Hello?
Why has it gone all quiet?
Well, because no one's talking.
Oh, I thought you were going to play us into email corner. I thought.
Well, I'm looking for it. You can keep me, can't you? You don't
have to.
Do you want to give me some backup, you guys?
No, not really.
Oh. There we go.
It's all gone. Email corner.
Lovely.
See, this is what success brings. We win one award, and it's gone a bit like the Spice Girls. Everyone's being a bit niggly.
Do you think so?
Sitting on the stage eating donuts. Stop caring, don't
Speaking
you?
of
Is that an old Otis Redding song?
Speaking of getting a bit tetchy, that woman that said that I couldn't fit in the lift, just as the doors shut, I went, "You're rude."
Did you?
Yeah,
I think it's
that
good.
got her back.
Yeah.
I have an email. Emily's revelation the other week that she had never opened a train door.
Some more of my stunning observational comedy
Yes.
there.
No, but that was a cracker. Because, if someone else is getting off with you, it's fine because they open it. But what if you'd been in a situation where you were getting off on your own?
It's awful.
Just missed the stop.
Awful. I'd have to. I couldn't physically get off. As you were.
Okay, I'm struggling not to make jokes about the phrase getting off so much there. You kept saying getting off with you. Emily's...
Preview of Frank's character in Doctor Who there.
Emily's revelation last week that she had never opened a train door
Frank, stop it.
has made me feel I need to share my own shameful secret. As a regular...
What we should say, by the way, in case... It's this concept, isn't it, of when you have to bring the window down and then put your arm...
Lean out. Put your arm out. And I realised I'd never done that before.
It is weird.
Mm-hmm. As a regular traveller on the famous train line that heads to the West Country, I found it so incredulous that doors had to be opened. I was so incredulous that doors had to be opened by lowering the window and leaning out that I went home and wrote a letter. Yes, an actual letter to the company asking to see a copy of their risk assessment for said activity. My nerdity did not end there. I also spent over 35 minutes Googling the cost of a new train carriage to see if internal door handles were more expensive until my husband asked me what I was doing. Oh, the shame.
Wow, what a gal.
Yeah, that's from Jackie. Well done, Jackie. I like over 35 minutes. Not 30. Over 35.
If I'd have been Jackie, what I'd have done is I'd have sealed the envelope and then I'd have drawn an arm coming from under the flap, holding a letter opener knife to sort of hammer home the ridiculousness of it.
Oh, I'm glad others share this. It's terrible. It's barbaric.
I wish she told us what the reply was to the letter, though.
Yes, we need to know, Jackie.
I'd really love to know how it went.
I like the idea that she Googled the cost of new train carriages as if she's an eccentric millionaire on that train and just goes, "Oh, I'm going to buy us some new trains. I'm fed up of leaning out of these windows, guys.
You see,
just get a round of carriages."
Whenever I've done it, I sort of get a bit of... I sort of imagine I'm a master burglar. You know, I'd really want to
there's
put
something very cat burglar about it.
I really want to put a black glove on before I do it, and maybe open the handle with a wire coat hanger.
Nice.
Yeah, that's how you got to make life more, exciting.
Yeah.
You got to bring a bit of drama into it.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Still an email corner.
Yeah.
We have an email in from Prisoner 617.
Okay.
Hi Frank, Alan and Emily. In last week's show, you regaled the readers with a joke about a meringue from the northern comic Bobby Thompson.
Yes. Bobby Thompson was a Sunderland comic known as the Little Waster. Mm-hmm. And he did just a quick reprise. He says that he's at the Queen's Place, and she says, I suppose Buckingham Palace, and she says, I bet you'd like a cake, Bobby, a meringue. And he said, no, you're not a meringue. I'd love a cake. That was the joke, which I thought was a very fine joke, I must say.
It's lovely.
Can I say, I was on about Colin Crompton earlier on the Will Tappers and Shunters Club, who I was mistaken for.
It's all sounding very 21st century.
Yes. He did a joke. He used to be like a working men's club, so he used to make announcements. And he said, can I make an announcement? There has been a mistake in the raffle prize. It says on the ticket, a diving suit. It should say divan suite. Brilliant.
Anyway.
I'm happy to be mistaken for him. He's a genius.
So the prisoner continues. I have, however, known and loved the joke for many years. This is the meringue joke, the aforementioned meringue joke. And recently gave it an airing to a mate. It was not greeted with laughter, as I had hoped, but a mix of derision and utter contempt.
Wow.
Spookily...
What about the clarinet anecdote?
That was terrible.
I know.
That was one of the worst responses you've ever had.
I know. I'm still reeling.
And not just to a joke, to anything in life.
Anything I've ever done.
Yeah. Was it worse than the Brits, that?
No.
Okay.
I don't think it's fair to mention the Brits on
sorry.
Frank's boisterous week.
I know you're
success.
right, Frank.
No,
I'm
I
sorry.
think it's a great level.
Keeps you tethered.
Exactly.
Yeah. Meet with triumph and disaster and all that.
Indeed.
Yes, exactly.
Spookily,
Overrated.
the name of the joke receiver on that occasion was... Robert Thompson.
Same name as Bobby Thompson.
Yeah.
Little Waster.
Spooky.
Anyway, the whole episode hung in the air like a bad smell, and we agreed to never speak of it again.
Oh, no.
Do Frank and Alan have any advice for how to handle a negative reaction to a joke? What would you say, Frank and Alan?
Usually my thing is I handle it by dying inside. That's my first thing.
I do that, and then I drive home, and then the next night I drive to a different town and tell it again, expecting a different outcome. That's
Or sometimes if I tell one that goes really badly, I hit either music or adverts on my screen. And hope that people think, oh, maybe the end was cut off that. The funny bit was still to come.
horrible edit.
What's your equivalent of that in social situations? I must just go to the toilet.
Well, I tell you, a friend of mine used to do this thing that he switched on the radio once, and at the end of a Radio 4 show, and all he heard was, and that man was Robert Dougal. And then it said, and that was blah, 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 and the show ended. And he told me this, and I started... If I told an anecdote that didn't go well, so I'd do the clarinet, and I'd say when I used to do it, I used to go... How. You all look at me in that blank look, and I say, and that man was Robert Dougal. And I tried it to save a couple of anecdotes, and people sort of think, oh, I must have missed a bit, so they sort of laugh politely. Try it.
We will.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
We've already had one quote of my mother today, haven't we?
I can never have enough of your
Well,
mum's wisdom.
there's another coming now. I don't know if you've seen the little bit of footage of Kate Moss allegedly flirting with the prince, where
yeah.
she said, "Oh, where's your
Wills.
wife?" And he says she's not here, and she goes, "Such a shame." And people are saying, "Oh, that's flirty." To me, that's just what my mum said when I told her that Elliot Smith had killed himself. She went, "That's a shame." As if I'd said, "Oh, I lost £1 on the bus." Like, that's a shame. But maybe
Elliot Smith, am I missing?
he's a singer-songwriter that's gone.
Okay, sorry.
Anyway.
Sorry about that. Anyone who
But,
doesn't know, just burst that in on them.
Yeah. No, it was years ago.
But,
But,
it's all in the context, actually, it's how she said shame.
Tilt of the head.
Well, if she said... It's tone. If she'd have said, "Oh, shame," that's reasonable. If she'd have said, "Shame," that's not reasonable.
Yeah, what if she'd have said, "Oh, shame"?
Oh!
Yeah, that is shameful. That's
is,
actually terrifying.
It wouldn't have gone, "Well, you're right."
You've got to...
But hold on, the
Yeah.
tilting head, is that
I
a
think-
flirting
Oh,
thing?
yeah, I use it all the
They
time.
say it's
Do
a
you?
flirting thing, but what the papers
That's
have
why I've
ignored
never
is
done
In
that...
that case, I used to have a dog. Every time I spoke to it,
Yeah.
it was basically coming on to me. That is... Do you still get the glad eye?
Oh,
Glad
yeah.
eye.
Yeah, but
Are you
I've
familiar
seen a
with
doctor
that
about
term?
that.
No, but do you know that term?
I know the glad
She
eye.
gave me the glad eye.
Yeah. Again, I've seen a doctor about it. But I hope she said shame in a non-husband stealing way. That's all I'm saying. Because I know what you mean. I mean, I think it
I
was-
hope she said it like David Bowie says fame in that. I hope she went, "Shame!" That would have really sort of thought, "Oh, God, she's...
And then she just kept repeating it.
Get out of here. Can you get out of here?" I can't just throw her out. I know, but just...
I feel bad that it
I had a
might
dead
be
body as well.
misconstrued.
I had a dead body, I remember. Dead. I picked it up. I held it upright.
Lolling neck.
And looking back, it was flirting. It started flirting with me from the grave.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's saying that Kate Moss was
Give me the glad
flirting.
eye.
We don't know that
Yeah.
she didn't just take a neck brace off right before getting
Oh,
to the
no?
party, going, "This doesn't go with my
Yeah,
outfit."
what
I'll leave it," and then she's
oh.
doing that
She
thing,
did have
you
a
know.
one shoulder on. One shoulder.
She only wore one shoulder.
Yeah, one shoulder dress.
Is she like a robot? Is she
But
bionic?
where do you guys stand on the one shoulder?
You know what he said to me?
Well,
Is this the
what are you talking
budgie, the
about?
parrot?
The body. Yeah. The one shoulder thing, I love it.
Do you?
I'll tell you something now. One of the great underestimated body parts of women is the shoulders.
Oh, yeah.
I love a nice shoulder.
Oh, good. Well, I like a collarbone because I never put on weight on my collarbones. So I always look
Yes. But shoulders are really good.
I like a nape. Today's texting. What bit of women do you like?
No, it has to be. I think it has to be an unconventional bit. I
good.
don't
Bit
want.
of women do you like?
I
was
don't
just
want
trying to-
people just sending in Route 1 stuff.
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
But do you honestly think though she was flirting?
Well, she's
Why-
quite flirtatious.
If she was, it's indiscreet, because, I mean, they're both really quite famous.
They are. They're high profile.
And her
I'm no
husband was
expert.
right next to her.
Yeah.
Who was?
Her husband.
Oh, well, I mean, come on.
Wow.
It's like your
wasn't.
1950s idea of marriage.
No, but you know, they called her in the Mail. The headline was "The Very Flirty Queen of the Catwalk." Was the
I know.
headline. I mean, it just.
What about Benedict Cucumber? Oh,
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I mean-
Benedict Cumberbatch said he spoke to him all night. Nobody thought he was flirting.
he said he felt guilty. He was hogging him.
I know,
Hogging
but
him.
you know, the headline wasn't Sherlock Homos, was it? No, but it
Play a
wasn't.
song.
No, but no.
Play a song.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So that Prince William party,
Yes,
there was Kate Blanchett, there was Emma Watson,
lovely.
Cara Delevingne.
Oh,
Um,
God. Do you think when he's around all those beautiful people, Prince William thinks back to that 6-month period in 1999 when he was attractive? You know, he had that brief window when he was hot.
He was so hot. The hair,
really?
and then the hair. It went a bit Matt Goss, didn't it?
Yeah, he went a bit caricature.
Yeah. Helena Bonham Carter.
Tough. See, I'm glad I was never hot. 'Cause I don't have that thing of, I should have done more during that 6
Also,
months.
it means you've developed a lovely little personality.
Thank you.
I think you are hot, actually. Helena Bonham Carter.
Not in this studio. I'm in the heat. We won't go into it.
Helena
What
Bonham.
about the aircon on there?
Everyone's very attractive in this studio.
Oh, it's like a catwalk, isn't it?
Do you think not?
You should see me in my Cheetah head thing.
We will. And we
will, Oscar. Okay, sorry,
No,
carry
I
on.
was just going to say, she admitted...
I'm method acting. I've been burying my own excrement all week. Sorry.
I came through your letterbox.
Come on, I'm interested in Helena Bonham Carter.
Don't tell me to come on when you've been stopping me.
Sorry.
Good point.
She seems like an interesting woman.
Well, she does, but she admitted, and I liked her for having the courage to admit this. She took a lot of moral courage. She admitted that she'd previously, with HRH, she'd asked him to be godparent to her child. She sort of slightly lost it, because people lose it a bit with the royals, don't they?
Oh, I think that's
And he said no.
Good for him.
Oh.
You see, I remember in bed with Madonna.
Yes.
Someone asked her, and she said, well, the thing is, you know, I'm already godparent to quite a lot. And it was all, oh.
She says, I need to go down and wait for my show and think about this. With sunglasses on the whole time.
I mean, I was nervous when I was asking, godparents for Boz in case they said...
Did you get any knockbacks?
Nelson Mandela said no.
He had a lot on, to be fair.
He did, yeah. And I think Madonna, actually. I'm still waiting.
On the good news, David Furnish came through, though.
Yeah, he did. God bless him. No, it is a different... It's like I've always thought about in tennis.
Yeah.
When you find your doubles partner.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, if you get some doubles, you get a really brilliant player with quite an average one. Does that average... Imagine going up to, like... to Venus Williams or and saying, do you want to be my double? No, of course not. You're rubbish. I don't know how they ever dare broach the subject. Or Serena.
I love
even.
the idea of the response being "you're rubbish."
No, but it'd be so. It's like when I wrote to Alan Bennett asking.
What happened? You wrote him a little letter.
Saying, do you fancy writing a play together? I mean, can you believe I wrote that letter?
And what did he say?
Yes.
Thank you very much for your letter. I very much appreciate. No, he was very sweet, and he said, "It's very kind of you." And he said, "I'm sure it'd be great, but I tend to work on my own."
Oh.
I should have written again. I said, "No, but no, I didn't." But he was very nice about
Cut
it.
to him writing a show with David Baddiel.
It makes me embarrassing.
Isn't that like asking women out though? For men, don't men have to suffer that all the time?
Yeah, but I was
never
any good at that either. I was fat. I was always
Did you just do it by stealth?
I just...
did it by fame, didn't you?
I did it by fame.
Didn't you, though?
I didn't really do it before
Only
fame.
quoting what you've said.
No, it's true. I didn't do it at all before fame. I just... yes, it's like a little light came on and along came the moths. But before... I was so awful at that.
Were you? How did you ask someone out, Frank?
Oh, I just didn't.
What did you do then?
I just couldn't... I had to get very, very drunk.
Were they drunk? I'm not being rude.
Yeah. No, well, I don't know. I was too drunk to know. And and even then, I think I'd turn it into some sort of... it's just awful. Don't even make me think about it.
Okay.
Apparently that's how they
trying
get
to spoil
doubles
my
partners.
perfect week. That's how they get
doubles partners. They just get really smashed and walk up to Venus Williams.
Yeah, I was trying to get off with Sue Barker. I ended up playing mixed doubles at Queen's with her. Such confusion.
Frank
Skinner
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
It's all right.
I was just thinking of something you said last week that made me laugh.
Oh, that's good, isn't it?
Yes.
It was your response.
Takes a week to...
It was your response to the... Well, I was going to say the phrase, the words, did you know Lynn Fold's words?
And, was it? No, but it makes my eyes water just thinking about it. Anyway.
Sorry, yeah.
I'll tell you what did annoy me about this party that Prince William was at. Benedict Cumberbatch.
That it existed.
No, I was fine with that. In a sort of, esoteric way. I don't want to go, but
yeah, right.
I really don't.
Esoteric.
I didn't even go to the radio awards. I went and did a gig behind a curtain.
Well, that's the kind of down-to-earth guy you are.
Yeah. You know what?
Wasn't there also a travel cost issue?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
£38.
You know what did happen though? I did that gig
Straight
and
to
then
Manchester. Only £38 for first class.
the guy at the gig said, "Oh, last time you did this gig, you said on the radio, oh, the gig will only work if the pub stays quiet, and tonight it's absolutely packed in the pub." So I was standing on stage and I couldn't hear myself speak. I could hear the pub from the other side of the curtain, so hoisted on my own petard.
So you had to bring your own petard as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So it wasn't even a good gig.
No, that was my point about Woody
Missed
Allen
it.
and the clarinet. Benedict Cumberbatch described Prince William as a stand-up guy.
He said he's such a stand-up guy.
Such a stand-up guy.
Doesn't mean he's a stand-up guy.
I think
No.
it should only be used if you're in the mafia, like he's a stand-up guy, or if you're a stand-up.
Lovely little
Yeah.
accent there.
Or with a possible caveat if he's got sciatica. And
Yeah.
He has to get up like you do.
Well, you're a stand-up guy in many respects.
Exactly,
Yeah,
yeah.
the Cochrane has to stand up during the records because of his bad back.
That'd be a nice name.
Can I just
to-
stop and say I said records, but we'll let it pass?
Sounds like Joe Meek.
Yes.
We'll
Or
let it
maybe it's
pass.
a faith healing session.
Yeah.
Can I just say, stand-up guy? What a great name for your next little tour.
Stand-up guy, oh yeah.
Because it pun works on-
I've gone with Man in a Suit for the next one.
What have you gone for, Frank?
What?
Well,
What's wrong with that? What?
the theme of my next stand-up tour is the Gunpowder Plot, so I'm thinking stand-up guy.
Can't wait to see that.
might
That sounds good.
might be a good one.
What about mine? Women in a waistcoat. Oh.
Women in a waistcoat.
Your stand-up tour should be Mortificado, wasn't it? That's what somebody said earlier.
Hashtag Mortificado.
Mind you, I mean, I'm sure he is a nice bloke.
Who's this?
Prince William.
Sciatica
Oh, he
and
looks
everything.
lovely.
But what is it that prevents us from being... I mean, I, as you know, I'm a bit of a git. But, as has been established by our readers, what stops you from being a nice guy? Work worries,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
pressure work, money worries,
Yeah.
fatigue.
Uh-huh.
You know, if I was a
99
member of the royal
problems.
family, I would be lovely.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Lovely. And look at that nice wife he's got.
Imagine you're thinking,
Lovely.
of God, I haven't set an alarm clock for about 30 years.
You know, this is the sort of thing when people say about a famous celebrity, oh, he's nice, and you mutter into the telly, well, he can afford to be, can't he?
Why don't you apply for that job?
Well, sometimes if people say to me, "You that Frank Skinner?" I say, "Well, we should have got his money." Well, I think Coots had my money at the time, so it's sort of relevant.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. Text us on 81215. We haven't had many today. Is it working?
We are.
no,
It's
it
a
is.
terrible thing, isn't it? It's like when I didn't get any work for about 2 years. I thought I've got my phone on silent.
Oh, it's like when you're waiting for a guy to call and to call you. You go, Daisy,
nightmare.
can you just check this? My phone's all right?
Yeah.
Just do some test texts.
The nightmare of that. I remember waiting for a letter from a girl, and honestly,
letter?
I was looking. Yeah, it's a long time ago.
Who was it? Jane Eyre?
I pulled the piano away from the wall, thinking it might have gone down the back of the piano.
Oh, no.
Or you can follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, or email the show via the Absolute Radio website.
Alan's laughing because of my milk jugs.
Pardon?
Let me
Got a
just
cup of
get
tea and a
that.
little
No, I was holding
jug
it.
of
Just
milk.
need to rinse that one
I
off
was
of me.
holding
Yeah.
it in a very dainty way. I was pouring it into my cup. Talking of cups,
I love that.
well,
good.
it's the cup final today.
It is.
Now,
It's
I'm not
the cup.
going because
No, I'm not going.
I can only do one event a weekend, and I've got the BAFTAs tomorrow.
It's tricky, isn't it?
Yeah, BAFTAs wins out, I'm afraid.
I'm not going, same reason. No, I'm not.
I did get to go to the semi, though. Well,
Oh, nice.
I support Arsenal, but my friend who edits Wallpaper magazine, which you may be familiar with, it's
Yeah.
a sort of, a very posh interiors mag.
Yeah.
I like it.
But oh, do you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
We buy a few pieces, the wife and I. We like a bit of furniture.
You like a piece, don't
yeah,
you?
we like
Yeah.
a few pieces.
I like their Eneglypta special that they do. It's a wallpaper. Not even totally sure I got the word right.
It's quite specialist material.
I
That
feel a bit.
mistake.
I've gone tense. There. When your stomach feels a bit tricky after you've said something wrong.
You think you're going to be in a DIY conversation when someone says,
Yeah.
"How are you going to match that up to that?"
Yeah.
No, I don't want
So
to.
they've got their own box at Wembley. It's all
Cool.
specially designed. It's like Don Draper's office. It's very smart in there.
Oh, that sounds
Smashing.
great.
Well, we couldn't go for the Arsenal semi-final, which is what I'd hoped for,
Oh.
because the Qatari millionaires all wanted the box for that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think so. I think a sofa might have been broken.
When you say the Qatari millionaires, you mean that's when I've got quite a lot of money, actually. Can you believe I've done a Qatar stroke Qatar joke?
I can't actually believe it.
The
Cool.
most
Thank you.
obvious pun of all time. Apart
sometimes-
from Pole, as in Polish person, and Pole
That's in dancer.
Like, yeah, when my cleaner invited us to a wedding in Krakow, and it was at a fire station.
Wow.
And I thought, this is just deliberately taunting me, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're not going to let me do a pole joke here.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So it was the 100% Blades versus Hull fixture
okay.
I got to see.
Very northern event for you.
It was quite northern, but I quite enjoyed it. Although, well, it wasn't, because in the wallpaper gentlemen, you know, a lot of them.
He came on stop.
A lot of them are of the Oscar Wilde persuasion.
Okay.
So some of them
that should
hadn't
be
been
how we
before.
describe it on the show from now on. That's great.
Yeah.
Some of them hadn't been to a football match before.
Yeah.
They looked lovely. One of them, my Norwegian friend, who's of the Oscar Wilde persuasion.
Okay.
He said, "Darling, can you pass me that magazine, please?" I said, "That's a match programme." He said, "I just want to read that magazine. It looked nice."
Well, I was in a box once, and someone asked for the volume to be turned down on the crowd.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, God, how embarrassing. And then there was like a volume thing in the box, so you could hear the outside noises actually went down a bit.
Oh, brilliant.
Well,
I'd like that in life. Just
I would.
turn the sound down on the street and all sorts
You'll
of stuff.
get it
That'd
when
be
you get
great.
older.
Oh, what about
And then you'll wish you hadn't got them in life.
what about one of my other Oscar Wilde friends who said, looked down at the technical area, said, "Oh, he's cute." I said, "That's Steve Bruce."
Wow.
I mean, please, he was going to be doing well out of that one, Steve
He's
Bruce.
got niche taste, that guy.
He has, but it's good. He's got quite a big catchment area if he moves to this country. Where most men and a great many middle-aged women look like Steve Bruce.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
So how was it, the Cop semi-final?
It was actually a bit of a thriller, as
Mm-hmm.
it turned out, you may recall.
I don't watch the FA Cup much now.
Do you not?
Unless West Bromwich Albion are involved. As a neutral,
No,
I've
I
lost.
understand.
I think the FA Cup, the Royal Variety Performance and Conkers, we should just accept they've gone.
And the Grand National.
Grand National, I don't know, but I think it's just gone. Let's just forget about it.
Okay.
What do you say?
Yeah, so I'd say that's all right.
You know when managers...
You'll watch the World Cup, though.
Yes, of course.
about the World Cup?
But you know when managers saying these next two games they're like cup finals. What they should be, so people in the cup final should be saying it's so big this it's like a Premier League game. That's what they should be saying.
But you know what, Frank? One makes a lot of mistakes in life.
Yes, according to Sepp Blatter.
Why did he say that, Frank? He's
No.
made a terrible fool of himself.
We don't normally talk about
Again.
football on this show,
No.
but just in case you're not a football person, you still probably know that the World Cup is going to go to Qatar.
Yeah.
And then
quite hot there.
FIFA have just learnt this week, having done all these studies to see if that it's 50 degrees in the
Yeah.
summer. I think the original promise by Qatar, which seems to have gone away now,
Yeah.
is that they were going to build domes over, like see-through domes over all the grounds that were going to be air-conditioned. I think
Yeah.
that's...
Oh,
like
well,
it-
they didn't get round to it.
do you remember
But
the
then they all-
problematic dice shaker on Frustration? It would be like that.
I think they all read the somewhat scary book Under the Dome by Stephen King and thought, we can't do that because this turns out really
I don't know if
badly.
that's available in Qatar.
It probably is. That's the one that took me, I think it's about 33 and a half hours, and I had it on Talking Book and finished it. This is how low level my actual achievements in life are. I was boasting to my wife that I listened to it all the way through. I mean, that is a lot of time, innit? That's a commitment. Didn't I do well? And then I thought, someone wrote it. One person wrote that whole book. I'm patting myself on the back for hearing it.
But it was great that he just fessed up there.
Yeah.
Well, it's great that he was so cash.
They said was it a mistake, and he said, of course it was.
He said, of course. And he then said,
I know.
one makes mistakes in life.
Yeah.
Me playing the same song on Absolute Radio twice, that was a mistake.
But I mean, how can they possibly have got the World Cup under those circumstances? I don't understand how that could have possibly
I
happened.
don't know.
No,
Just,
it's mysterious, isn't it?
must have been names out of a hat or something.
Yeah. Maybe we should have what about a text in? What should be the official World Cup song for the Qatar World Cup?
Yeah.
I'm thinking World in Lotion. Or maybe 2 bribes.
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
We've got some Pope news in.
Always good.
Yeah, this is from your lot, Frank. Well, Pope Frank, really, isn't he? Pope
I
Francis.
suppose. I don't know if anyone calls him that.
Well, I would. He said that he would be prepared to baptise aliens. He was reading a sermon about St. Peter baptising some pagans, I believe.
Yes.
And he said that not only does he agree that he should reach out to heathens, but he also thought that the church should reach out to aliens as well.
Yes, Martians, he actually.
Yeah.
I think
He says Martians.
He named them.
It does feel like it's the icing on the cake on your perfect week that we now have a story that involves Catholicism and sci-fi together.
Yes, Al, you're right.
It is perfect. Although I don't. I mean, I agree with. He said the classic Martians, green with like the big noses and the big ears, and I think of Martians with green. I mean, that's the tradition.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Do they normally have big noses and big ears?
I think it was a little bit of a 70s description of Martians.
I think like kids draw them, didn't they?
Yeah.
But
I wondered if
they
he's
do
got
different ones.
Has he got mixed up with old people? Was it his way of saying we don't just baptise babies, we baptise old people?
Maybe.
I don't know. I suppose. I mean, it's interesting in the Roman Catholic League table that even Martians have now edged ahead of practising homosexuals.
Yeah.
That just doesn't seem right, does it?
No.
True
and
that.
He does say any entity. Well, it wasn't him. It was a spokesman of the church who said any entity has a soul.
Yes, he said that. He said even if it's got tentacles, it still has a soul. That was a great line.
Even if it's in Made in Chelsea. He also added at the end.
Did he say that?
Yeah, and then he said even if it's in Top Gear, it has a soul. I don't agree with that.
Wow. What about Jimmy Carr?
Frank.
Oh, okay. I'm just asking. I like the story. I like the principle of it. Certainly, he's a good guy. The new pope.
Is he?
What do you think about welcoming?
Is he a stand-up guy? Has he got a touch of sciatica as well?
Well, he's gone on about Martians. I wasn't over the moon about him accepting Church of England clergymen, to be honest.
Really?
But so Martians is really... I think that's better.
No, but seriously, Frank, what about Derek Acora? Would you welcome him into your place of worship?
Yeah, as long as he didn't, keep going, what's that, Sam? What's that, Sam? And then talking to Elvis. Yeah. I think Derek Acora could repent.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. What about the Martians when they're in the old confession booth? That's going to be a bit tricky, isn't it?
Yeah.
What have you got to confess? Well, I blew up a universe that you guys don't even know about. You can't really...
No, but that's the problem.
They'd have to tell the FBI.
What you've done is you've got the idea that the god of Mars is like... Mars is the war god, and you're associating them with a war like... you've gone very H.G. Wells.
Yeah,
it might be that they're a
peace-loving
people. And they might be great. I mean, if it becomes a Catholic planet, I might have to move there during the persecutions. You don't hear about them as much as you used to. Because,
Martians?
What's that, Catholics?
Because they keep sending, things up there, and there's no sign of them. People are starting to think maybe...
Do people still believe in them, though? Really? What? Isn't it like astrology?
Catholics?
No, Martians.
I think people still think... They keep saying that they've found ice on Mars and stuff like that, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
That's a deal breaker for me, romantically.
Is it? If they believe in
someone that believes in Martians or astrology.
That's it. They're out.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's... I went out with Mystic Meg in the 1980s.
How did you find the fringe?
She had great bangs.
Pardon?
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
You're not the only celebrity that has been announced as a cameo role in something this week. You're going to be treading the boards in the Doctor Who forthcoming series. Morrissey is apparently in talks for doing The Archers.
Yes.
Famous vegan joins farming-based soap opera news.
Yeah, but it's...
Yeah, but they did say there's speculation his role would involve him having views on the livestock industry.
Yeah, but it
which doesn't exactly sound like Who Shot JR in terms of...
could bring the whole thing
line.
to
Who shot that cat?
Yeah. Who shot that cat?
Can I just say, point of order, you call him Moz. I've had dinner with the man. He likes to be called Moz.
Does he really? Wow.
His PR told me to call him Moz.
I'm sorry, I think it's just stunt casting,
Yeah.
It's been done for publicity.
Oh.
No, it's
somewhat
an interesting.
overshadowed in that regard, hasn't it?
I don't listen to. I think I've said on this show before that it's not one of the things on
The Archers.
No, I use the signature tune really as a sort of early warning system.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
But
I don't listen to it,
But I
but I
have
do
heard
love
it.
Morrissey, so
I
I
have
would-
heard it a few times. I've often wondered if I should try with the Archers, because it's virtually a Midlands.
Is it?
It's supposed to be quite near Birmingham. isn't it?
Ambridge.
Ambridge. Yeah, I think that's.
Is it?
Yeah, they're on. The Archers is one of the stars on the Birmingham Walk of Fame.
Why do they all sound like my parents then?
Yeah.
Oh, because all actors sound like your parents.
Oh yeah, I forgot. In fact, one of my first boyfriends, I'm going to name him Barnaby Scott Hughes, his mother played Shula in The Archers.
Ah.
So I can name drop with the best of them.
Wow.
Yeah, I imagine it'll be like. All right, Tom, how are you? Oh, Andy, I'm afraid my horse has lost a shoe. I'm going to have to take it to the Smiths. It's near here, isn't it? Well, listen. I was happy in the... Yeah, it's just round the corner. So I imagine it'll work.
I don't think Morrissey will like some of the dialogue. Do you know what I mean? I think he might be critical.
Well, he's a critical man, I imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think it'll be quite epic or poetic enough for him. I think he might find fault with it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it'd be interesting if... I have to say now, I am a meat eater myself.
Yeah.
But I've sort of found myself in slight crisis.
Oh, yeah.
I was... I took Boz to... this is my 2-year-old. I took him, nearly 2-year-old. I took him to the City Farm, which is a farm in Kentish Town in London, which is...
Oh, yeah, it's for
a
urban
little farm.
children, I know,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
And I took him
So
there.
for urban children.
Yeah.
Well, it is for urban children, so he's urban. I took him there.
Very loud music there, isn't
Yeah.
it?
He had
They're like grime.
He had a VW thing round his neck on a chain. Oh, God, how old-fashioned is that? But, yeah, so I take him there now and again, and he really likes it, and it's good to get him used to, animals and all that. And then, so, he's playing with the chickens, and I'm saying, look at that chicken doing this, and he's there, and it's great. And then we were back home, and I said, do you want some chicken? Do you want some chicken for you? And he looked at me, and you can tell he was thinking, hold it, we're not eating those things that you encouraged me to play with at City Farm, are you? And me going, no, not that kind of chicken. And for the first time, though, I thought, should we be eating them when they're people who we encourage our children to... Not, well, they're not people. Let's make that clear. Can I say I don't eat people? No. In case that gets taken out of context. This is how Armin Meifer started. Throwaway reference like that on a radio show.
I don't think it is how he started.
It's not how he started.
He won an award and he did a reference on his radio show.
I'll Wikipedia.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Are we still sort of in email corner?
Yeah, well, do you want to hear the jingle? I'll just do it in email corner. There you go.
Lovely.
Good.
This is from Malk. He says, "Hi guys, I like the economy of hi guys."
Well, it's friendly.
Yeah. He says, just boiling loads of water to clear a drain, a method that many people have used in the past, but Alan seems to have patented.
Oh, you're having a dig early doors.
Oh dear.
Do you know what it was? It's not that I said that I've invented it or anything. I think I was quite explicit. I think I said, I was staying at some other people's place and I did it and looked for me, macho. Very rare moment that I do any DIY with any success. And now I'm living off the tail somewhat.
This is to block a blocked drain.
Yeah, quite often when people run cold water and fat down the drain, the fat congeals, so the hot water
Oh, yes.
the hot
I
can
didn't
really
know.
clear that.
I mean, this Malk suggesting that it's a commonplace, but I didn't know. I've
got some other DIY tips. If you're ever changing a light bulb that you can't reach, a chair can make a useful ladder.
No way, that's...
I stand on it with heels as well.
Yeah,
4-inch
yeah.
platforms.
Can I
That me
say
too.
that Absolute Radio do not encourage people standing on chairs in their houses as a
Wearing
on
4-inch
safe
heels.
thing at all.
Can I just say, Alan, your hair looks great. Did you put some product on it?
I did a tiny bit.
I thought you did, because it was very flat this morning, and now it's bouffant. Frank,
Yes,
have you
gone really
noticed?
bouffant.
Yeah, it looks like anyone who used to read The Hurricane, Skid Solo's hair looked exactly like that.
I don't like where this is going.
You look lovely, though.
I just-
Congratulations. Anyway,
Anyway,
Malk's
like
not
I
done.
say, I didn't know about hot water. I use, if I get a blocked train, I use Mr. Muscle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I do as well.
He's that gay bloke at number 71. He
God.
comes round with a blonde jar.
Congratulations, sweet.
And if it's just a small blockage, I use Mr. Tendon.
Unbelievable. Okay, knowing his parsimonious nature, this is Alan's, not
Cockerel,
Mr.
yeah.
Muscle.
No.
Who's very
I'd
generous,
say
I believe.
He's very sort of carefree and very nice bloke.
I was wondering.
Quite a laugh, actually. And then he told me this story. Anyway, I'll tell you after.
I was wondering what he recommends as the best way to heat the water. Kettle, using just electricity.
Oh, he's getting proper sarky
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, isn't he?
Sarky Malky, I call it.
Yeah.
Boiling pans of water on the hob, using just gas. Or how about running the water until it's hottish, then filling the kettle with it until it boils? Talk about first world problems. I appreciate your agreeable show. That's from Malk.
Tell you what, Malk, even if I
Easy.
did know what...
Easy.
Even if I did know what
don't
the
like your
most
tone,
frugal
mate.
way of doing it was, I wouldn't be telling you, pal.
Oh,
you
no,
don't
come
deserve
on.
my help.
Oh, my
on,
God.
it-
although-
He's brought out Pal. He's
I have
brought
to
out
say
Pal.
this.
He's all right. He's just putting your leg.
I know.
He's just doing a
teasing- I'm
Jay-Z, he's pulling
teasing
your
him back,
leg.
I'm teasing him back.
Yes.
I have to say this. During the worst period of the bad back problem, the osteopath told me, heat is good for pain relief. So when I was putting a kettle on, I was putting a full kettle on, making a cup of tea or coffee, and then putting the rest of the hot water into a hot water bottle.
Oh, thank God for that. It's
Sticking
going to say
it
you
on
just
the
poured it straight down your back.
Yeah, I was pouring it exactly on my back. Let me show you the scars.
Oh, can
But
you
a
imagine?
kettle for a tea and a hot water bottle, and then I was sometimes taking the water out of the hot water bottle once it had gone cold and pouring it on the garden.
I remember how...
That's a lot of use out of one kettle, innit?
I remember how Terry was when he was living at home. He was drinking a lot. He woke up in the night really thirsty, and he drank out of the hot water bottle and threw up. Well, all the best stories here on Absolute Radio.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
What about that email you sent this week, Frank?
Yes, well, I've got an app called it's called Celebralike, I think, and when you put your picture in, and it tells you who you look like. So I put a picture of Boz in, who, remember, is nearly 2, and I got Stephen Gerrard. I think they just go after ginger hair. I think that's all.
I'm
they
still
go
laughing at the pronunciation of Gerard. which
Well, people always pull me
I
up
know.
on that.
Me and David Baddiel specifically.
So I thought, that's stretching it a bit, isn't it? So I thought I'd put a picture of me, and I thought, well, I'll probably get me. If you think about it.
Well, not if that driver off to the Radio
No,
Academy
exactly.
Awards.
I doubt if Colin Crompton's on their database. But anyway, I put a picture of me in, and yeah, you've all guessed it. Osher was the lookalike.
Took the words right out of our mouth.
Yeah,
didn't you?
exactly. I thought I won't ask you to guess. It's so obvious.
I thought you looked quite like him. We started exchanging emails, and the girls on the show, I'm saying like I'm not the girls, I am a girl. Daisy and Charlie, they got excited. Daisy went, "Oh, look, I got Liz Hurley." A little bit self-congratulatory, if you don't mind me saying.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I have to say the two pictures, they did look really, really alike on those pictures.
All right, okay, fine, take sides. And then Charlie got... Who did you get, Charlie? Lisa Faulkner. Not bad. I got Kate Garraway. She's a lovely woman, and she's very attractive.
I've got a friend who's obsessed with Kate Garraway.
Have you?
Who is it?
Yes.
Who is it?
No,
Tell you in a few minutes.
no, that's the Joe Pasquale's follow-up to I've Got a Song That'll Get on Your Nerves. I've got a friend who's obsessed with Kate Garraway.
And
Cockerell
everybody-
wouldn't do it. Do you know why,
everybody was
readers?
doing the reply to all, weren't they? It was a
we
bit
had
like
a
when
love-
people in an office have a
Yeah, we
reply
had-
to all Friday afternoon when they're a bit bored at work.
Yeah, we had
and
a
just
real
go
sort
a bit
of
like-
bonding,
was
sending all
lovely.
these lookalikes, and then I spoilt the whole thing.
No, Cockerell spoiled the whole thing.
Yeah,
Because he
felt
said, I
that.
won't spend 69p on an app.
No, I said I haven't got the room on my phone. My phone's been having a bit of a
come
meltdown.
on,
I
69
just don't have
got
the
room on your phone in the modern world.
I'll tell you what.
69p was the problem.
I have got the 69 pence. I just don't have the room. That's
So
the issue.
Emily looked him up and
Yeah.
it
Turned out all right, didn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
It was Bieberlicious.
Young Justin Bieber.
Bieber believer.
A young Justin Bieber as opposed to an old Justin Bieber.
Not the recent one, the tattooed sort of lunatic. Was it fresh-faced, shaven-headed?
And then I thought, I've got a brilliant joke here, and I'll send them all roaring. So
Yeah.
I sent a picture of former Faroe Islands goalkeeper Jens Martin Knudsen,
Which was funny.
who I thought looked like Alan Cochrane. Didn't get one reply. It's one of those.
I couldn't work out who it was. I thought it was Tom York.
It was the cyber version of the clarinet anecdote. I'm still trembling at the very thought of it. Anyway, look, if the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Can I say thank you very much for the many, many texts congratulating me on the Doctor Who stuff. That's lovely of you. And now get out.
The Frank Skinner Show on Absolute Radio. Back Saturday morning from 8. Tune in live for the full Frank experience.
Absolute Radio.